Welcome back to the Final Fantasy Marathon. It's time we discuss the most important characters in the Final Fantasy series that aren't the main party. The villains.
Final Fantasy villains are some of the most well-crafted and fleshed out characters we've ever seen. They have their strengths and their weaknesses and personality, and they do some dastardly deeds and put you through hell with some intense boss fights.
So here are the top 10 Final Fantasy villains. Once again, only one per game, and we're judging them based on how good of a villain they are, their personality, and their fights. Now let's battle. Whoa!
Exdeath isn't a bad villain, more so that he's underdeveloped.
Exdeath is a powerful tree full of devastating power. After being sealed in the void by the Warriors of Dawn, he shattered the crystals to free himself and then causes massive black holes to destroy the world around him.
While Exdeath is powerful, his personality is too cliché. He's selfish and maniacal, wanting nothing more than to destroy the world. Unlike other villains, Exdeath shares no sense of good values. Other villains at least value when they're defeated or if an opponent is about as strong as they are. Exdeath thinks too highly of himself, and that's honestly his weakest quality.
As for his battles, they're pretty standard. His first true fight, he uses Condemn, which is similar to Doom. He'll use Dynamo, which will change the party's row positions, and he'll use Faraga and Blizzaga, one after another. The second fight he uses an attack called White Hole, which will cause both death and petrify. But the last one...
Neo Exdeath has 4 abominations attached to it. There's the Vacuum, which we use Vacuum Wave, which hits twice and causes sap.
There's the Dragon, which will use Grand Cross, which can cause any negative status effect in the game, Dispel, which will get rid of buffs, or Meteor, which just sucks.
The Human causes various black, white, and blue magics, as well as a move called Delta Attack, in which it can petrify most opponents.
But the most dangerous is the Magic Beast, which uses a move called Almagest, which does holy damage based on the party's levels. Depending on how high your levels are, it could really hurt.
Exdeath isn't a bad villain, more so he's just the weakest personality-wise and motives-wise. Seriously, that Dissidia voice acting.
While Exdeath wanted to rid of the world, Ultimecia wanted to freeze time to become a god of the universe. That's terrifying.
Ultimecia was a powerful witch with unimaginable power. She can possess people and use her power to destroy anybody that she wishes. Yes, she's that powerful. She's so powerful that she possesses Edea, who was strong enough on her own. She's a force to be feared.
Ultimecia is cold, malevolent, manipulative, and diplomatic. She stops at nothing to become the ruler of time. Absolutely nothing. Manipulating Edea, making Cypher her bodyguard, kidnapping Rinoa, she wants nothing in her way.
Battles against her are challenging. You fight her 6 times. 6! There are 2 fights in her Edea form, 1 in her Adel form, 2 with her own body, and 1 when she jumps into Griever. Jeez. Well, the first fight is at the Sorceress Parade, right after she becomes the leader of Galbadia. She uses Tier 3 magic and Dispel during the fight, so she hits hard and uses plenty of debuffing on your party.
The second fight, she still has Blizzaga and Dispel, but now she has Fira, Maelstrom, Reflect, Silence, Slow, and even Death. It isn't an easy fight.
Adel's fight is considered the most annoying in this game, where it uses very powerful magic like Ultima and Holy to keep Rinoa at bay. If Rinoa dies, it's game over, so you constantly have to heal her to keep the fight going.
But her final fight? Ooh, man, it's badass. Her first form right off the bat shows she means business. Bio, Aga spells, Quake, Meteor, Stop, Holy, and even Meltdown. If you last the first form, the second phase is even harder. She sends out Griever, her guardian force. Griever uses Doom, Flare, and Garvesia and can even draw from you.
But things get real when she fuses with Griever. Starting with Holy and Dispel, she uses Meteor, Ultima, Flare, Quake, and Tornado to do massive amounts of damage. But her final form?
Ultimecia's final form is amazing, with the arsenal of Apocalypse, Hell's Judgment, and the previously mentioned Holy, Meteor, and Ultima. She is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Ultimecia is only number 9 because I feel that as great as she is, we just think the others are better. Don't get me wrong, 8 lovers, Ultimecia is a great villain, but not great enough.
An insect defeat an emperor?
Emperor Matthias is a leader of the Palamecian Empire, and later becomes a leader of Hell itself, where he is arrogant, intelligent, and manipulative. While he does show honor to his foes, he won't hesitate to call them pests or insects.
Emperor Matthias was powerful since the beginning, seeing as he could create cyclones that could destroy towns, has powerful elemental spells, and can resurrect people from the dead.
You fight him twice in Final Fantasy II. The fight in the Cyclone, he is joined by 2 royal guards and a wood golem. He uses Blink and Haste 8 as well as Thunder 10.
But the final form can hurt a lot. He uses Flare, Curse, Slow 16, as well as Starfall 10.
There's even another fight in Soul of Rebirth where he's even harder, using Flare, Holy, Blaze, Starfall, and Dispel 16 so he can make you suffer.
The Emperor's only downside is that he dies sort of anticlimactically. He just fades. He doesn't say anything, he just fades away. Other than that, he's a great villain. Cold, arrogant, yet intelligent.
Sorry, Final Fantasy VII fanboys.
Sephiroth was the most powerful warrior of the Soldier program before his downfall. You see...
Sephiroth, during a mission to Nibelheim, he discovers something known as the Genova Project. The more he researches about the project, the more Sephiroth loses his sanity. He slowly finds out that he has Genova cells fused into him, which was a terrifying creature. Sephiroth, horrified, burns the entire city of Nibelheim, killing Cloud's mother and Tifa's father. He's now in search for the black materia to destroy the planet.
Sephiroth is very cold and mysterious. He's unpredictable and has a large hubris, or god complex, believing himself to be the chosen one. He is intelligent and murderous, seeing as the amount of chaos he causes is immense.
You actually get to play as Sephiroth for one part of the game where he builds a giant sword known as Masamune, which is a whopping 7-foot long sword. However, it really hits the fan in the one time you fight him, the final battle.
His first form, known as Bizarro Sephiroth, has 5 parts, each with a different function. The main body uses Tier 3 fire, ice, bolt, quake, and demi-magic. His Heartless Angel attack will leave you with 1 HP, and it uses Stigma, which poisons and slows. Strangely, he also has a move called Aurora Fence, which will revive fallen opponents. He rarely uses it though.
You'll love this. Saber Sephiroth is probably his most dangerous yet. He uses moves like Shadow Flare, which hits for massive damage, Pale Horse, which can cause frogs, sadness, or small, and of course the almighty Supernova, which leaves you with critical damage and leaves you with any negative status effect in the book. Better hope you have those ribbons.
And finally, a one-on-one duel between Cloud and Sephiroth, where you can hit him with Omnislash and win, or you can let him hit you and you counter him and win. This is the main reason Sephiroth is so low. We had an epic final battle and yet we kill him with 1 move. In fact, Sephiroth is set to 1 HP. 1 HP! Sephiroth just had so much potential in the one-on-one duel and he blew it.
Time for a moon Pokemon Lord.
Golbez is definitely one of the most cunning and intelligent villains we've ever seen. He's manipulative, powerful, smart. He seems as if he's the ultimate villain. Well, I've got some stuff to say about that.
Golbez became captain of the Red Wings after Cecil was fired from his position. Golbez soon rose to power, taking the elemental crystals and brainwashing Cain, not once, but twice. He's so powerful, his goddamn hand, left over after his defeat in the underworld, can still steal the crystals.
Golbez's only battle will have him use Binding Cold and a Shadow Dragon using Black Fang to kill off your characters one by one. Cecil being left, the Mist Dragon will be summoned and it will automatically kill the Shadow Dragon, while someone will cast Cure. Rydia will then come to your aid from there, and then Golbez will have Bio, Thunder God, and Fire at his fingertips.
Only one downside to Golbez. He was mind-controlled. Yep, he was just a pawn. And there's even a plot twist where Golbez, the real name Theodore, is actually Cecile's brother. So, while Golbez wasn't the one in charge, he's still a great villain. Smart, intelligent, and powerful, he's a great villain.
Know your place!
Garland was the very first Final Fantasy antagonist, and for the very first villain, he did a great job at playing the role.
I mean, when you first meet him, he doesn't seem impressive. Just some knight who kidnapped Princess Sarah and he only uses physical attacks.
But the twist comes at the end of the game when you find that Garland has become chaos itself. That is incredible. A villain who didn't seem impressive at first can now be the leader of the underworld. In the final battle, he uses Tier 3 black magic, Slowra, Karaja, and Flare. He even has Tsunami, Earthquake, Blaze, and Cyclone to do powerful damage. He's a force to be reckoned with.
Garland's personality is very honorary. He wants to only face the strongest and has mass respect for those who can surpass him. He clearly loves fighting and is drawn to war and conflict, for he is a militant and arrogant soldier.
Once again, his only downside is his first battle. It's pathetic. Like, straight up, it's a joke. But Garland is fantastic. I hate this bastard, but goddamn is he a great villain. Number 4 is Seymour.
Born from a human mother and his father Jiskel, who is Aguado, now he is the leader of the Squishy race and soon grew to be a powerful mage. At first he didn't seem to be bad, but it isn't until after the battle at Mushroom Rock Road where you find some dark things.
Seymour wanted to marry Yuna, but not for love. Think of it like an arranged marriage for the people of Spirit's happiness. It wasn't until later that they find out that Seymour outright murdered his father to gain power. Seymour was so power-hungry that he murdered his own father to gain such power. Good God.
After his defeat in Macalania, Yuna and her guardians are labeled as traitors by Spira, and Seymour later kidnaps Yuna to force her into marriage, and after she escapes, he performs his own sending to become Seymour Natus.
Fast forward to Mount Gazaret, and he's back again in one of the hardest freaking battles in the game, Seymour Flux. But he isn't done yet. Fast forward again to Sin, and he's back one more time as Seymour Omnis. After his defeat, Yuna finally sends him, ending Seymour's life.
Jesus, all the fights against Seymour are challenging as hell. His first fight has 2 Guado Guardians who cast Protect and Shell on him and will use potions when anyone takes damage. You'll need Riku to steal the potions from them so they won't heal. After he's taken enough damage and you've dealt with the guards, he'll summon his Aeon Anima. Anima only has one attack called Pain, which is an instant kill to your party members. It's best to use Aeons in this fight as they are immune to it. However, when its overdrive gauge is filled, it uses Oblivion, which might as well be an instant kill. After Anna's defeat, Seymour has one last trick up his sleeve. He'll start using Tier 3 black magic, which will be really devastating to your party.
Seymour Natus is worse. He'll start double casting Tier 2 magic, Desperado to remove your buffs, then he'll start casting Break with Mortar Body, following with Shattering Claw and instantly killing a party member for only 2 members. He also has Flare early game.
His absolute worst is the third fight against Seymour Flux. Dear God, this fight is so difficult. His basic attack is Lance of Atrophy, which does zombie damage, and he immediately follows it with full life, granting an instant kill. He'll banish Aeons if they are summoned. He casts Protect and Reflect occasionally, and will use Total Annihilation, which will either right out kill you or leave you with critical HP.
Thankfully, his last fight, Seymour Omnis, is much better. On 4 discs in the back are elemental symbols for fire, ice, lightning, and water. The element facing Seymour shows what element he'll use. If he hit the disc with magic or walk his blitz balls, the disc will change and he'll use a weaker variant of the elemental spell. Basically, the less of the same color pointing at him, the weaker the spell. But if 4 match up, he is vulnerable to the opposite element, so it requires a great amount of strategy.
Seymour is a complete nihilist, where he sees sin as an eternal being and death as Spyro's only release. Being harsh, rude, murderless, and cold, Seymour just has a complete distasteful outlook on life. However, we just think the last 3 villains are much better. Much, much better.
You know what? As much as I despise 12, I'll give it one thing. I love Gebranth as a villain.
Twin brother of Bash, Gebranth is a Judge Magister, which is the highest rank in the Arcadian military. He's a cold and ruthless militant, and he even imprisoned his own brother, and even badmouths Bash's former army. He sees his army as superior and claims that anyone under him is nothing but a stepping stool. He acts very highly of himself, especially comparing himself to his brother, seeing as he has the utter hatred for him ever since Bash left the family to serve for Dalmasca.
You fight Gebranth twice in-game. His first fight he uses all-out swordplay. His main skill is called Guilt, which can really hurt, and relying on his sword combos to rack up the damage. If Bosch is in the party, he'll aim for Bosch the most, so it's recommended to keep Bosch protected during the fight.
In the second fight, he uses Innocence, which is a heavy-hitting attack with incredible range, and the more his health dwindles, he'll get stronger and faster. These battles are very fun yet challenging.
Gebranth was the only representative in Dissidia with Vaughn joining him in Duodecim. Gebranth's EX Burst even references his brother's quickenings, which is just awesome. Gebranth is cold, brash, yet worthy to be that way.
Never thought a narcissist would be a fantastic villain, but he has now become one of my favorite villains of all time. Number 2 is Kuja.
Kuja was a genome clone created by Garland. No, not that Garland. This one. Anyway, Garland considered Kuja a failure, yet Kuja soon became the most powerful genome out of all of them.
In fact, once he finds out about how he was a pawn for Garland, Kuja outright destroys the planet of Terra in rage. Something deemed a failure has destroyed an entire planet. Jeez.
You only fight Kuja twice in the game. The first battle on Terra, he uses Thundaga and Demi, and will use Flare Star rarely. However, he finishes off the battle by going in Transform and casting Ultima.
The battle against Trans Kuja has to be one of the most epic encounters in the series. After you take down his minion death guys, it's time to take him down. He doesn't have many attacks, but they sure are powerful enough. He'll use Flare and Holy to dish out damage. Flare Star will put you at critical, while using Kiraga to heal himself. He'll even occasionally put up Reflect to bounce your spells back. But, get this.
You don't technically win this fight. Sure, you do dwindle his HP, but Kuja casts Ultima to kill everyone once his health reaches 0.
But the main reason Kuja is this high is his personality. Kuja, while very cruel and ruthless, he does something so rare of a villain. His humanity is slowly gained after his defeat. After his defeat and he's lying in the infantry, Kuja apologizes for his actions, yet Zidane understands him, and Kuja even thanks Zidane for showing him what mortality is like.
Kuja is by far one of the most interesting characters in the series. Great personality in fights, as well as one of the only villains we've seen to actually gain humanity after his defeat. But we have one more left, and I think you know who he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet Kefka Palazzo, one of the most insane characters we've ever seen. Being the prototype of Magitech Knights, Kefka is Emperor Gestal's court mage. But Kefka does some of the most dastardly things a villain could ever do.
To counter the Final Fantasy villains who are just cold and ruthless, Kefka is the more loud, short-tempered, and destructive type. He only wants to see the world burn before his very eyes and cares for absolutely nothing but himself. Kefka has one dark sense of humor and only finds enjoyment in death and destruction. Good lord.
Kefka does some of the most evil things to the world around him. He sets fire to Figaro, poisons the entirety of the Doma River, kills off dozens of Espers to rise to power, kills off one of his own men, weakens the Warring Triad, and most importantly, he kills thousands by breaking the Earth.
Ave Maria Purissima. The scene where Kefka destroys a planet has to be one of the saddest scenes in the game. You see a poor man get crushed in between the shifting plates. Family separated? Dios mío, Kefka!
Kefka's increasing power succeeds godhood, and he laughs at the thought of being defeated. However, when he is defeated, the magic is erased forever. Man.
Kefka is fought only twice. The first fight in Narshe uses Bizarra, Poison, Drain, Thunder, and Blizzard.
But oh man, the second and final battle is absolutely incredible. It's fought in 4 tiers. The first tier, titled Visage, uses abilities like Dread, which inflicts Petrify, Haste, which raises the ATB, and Magnitude 8 and Quake, which cause massive earth damage. The 2 arms he has with him even have their own set of attacks. The long arm uses Shockwave, which does heavy non-elemental damage, and the short arm uses Razor Gale along with physical attacks.
Phase 2 is considered the hardest of the tiers, seeing as it has 4 parts you have to defeat. Tiger is the most dangerous, using Southern Cross for massive fire, Northern Cross for massive ice, and Flare Star for massive non-elemental damage to the party. At 11,000 HP, it uses Zombie Fang on the whole party.
Machine uses Diffractive Laser and Tech Laser to do lightning damage, Gravity Bomb to have HP, Atomic Ray to deal fire damage, Delta Attack to petrify, and Absolute Zero to deal ice damage.
Magic uses nothing but magic attacks, and all of them either hurt or put your party in a bad spot. Haska, Life 3, and Reflect to help his team. Imp, Muddle, Poison, Stop, Slow, Sleep, Mute, Dispel, and Rast to debuff your party. And finally, black magic like Faraga, Bazaga, Thundaga, Bio, Drain, Flare, and Quarter. He can even use Holy, but it's very rare. The last of Tier 2 named Power only uses physical attacks, so now on to Tier 3.
Tier 3 is comprised of Lady and Rest. Lady, while the weakest out of all of the tiers, does have their strengths. If you don't take her out quick, she will use full life to revive Rest. She also frequently uses White Wind to heal both of them.
Rest is the main reason you want to kill Lady quick. He uses attacks that hit all party members like Meltdown and Tornado. That way Lady can use White Wind to heal them. He'll use Condemned, which casts Doom, Meteor to do great damage, and Tron to inflict Blind and Sleep. And when you're done with all of that, it's time for the final battle with Kefka.
Kefka always starts the battle with Heartless Angel, which brings your party to 1 HP, so have Kiraga ready. He uses Aga spells to do great damage, Try and inflict Blind and Sleep, Vengeance to remove buffs, Hyperdrive which does massive damage and inflicts Sap, Meteor and Ultima, but his most devastating is Forsaken.
Man, this battle is just an utter spectacle. So much symbolism, so many messages being spread the higher you climb the tiers. It's incredible. Kefka not only has a wicked personality, but one of the best final bosses we've ever faced. That's why Kefka is our #1 pick for the best villain in Final Fantasy series. I'm Sentimental Scorpion.
Divine Platinum 97.
And I'm Beta 45. Only halfway done, guys. Stay tuned.